My love language is your time and attention. Won't you give some of it to me? I've been lonely lately. I've been feeling neglected, and I want you to show me. Talk to me. Let's start a conversation. When you spend your time with me, you're speaking my love language. Talk to me.
Today we are talking about I don't know how to hold this not awkwardly. Today we are talking about being a main character energy, romanticizing your life. And I think before we dive into this, it's important that we talk about what do we see as main character energy? What do we think of when we think of a main character? Because also I'm realizing I should have put this on the other side so I could shoot and have the good lighting. Whoops. I feel like too often when we talk about being the main character, we focus on routines and habits. And especially for this whole idea of romanticizing your life and main character energy, I think it's important to remember that, at least when I think about a main character, I don't think of perfect routines and habits. Bro, there we go. Yeah. When we think about what a main character is, like when I think about what a movie like romanticized life looks like, it's not perfect routines or having it all together. It's spontaneity, it's taking risks, it's doing things outside of your comfort zone, outside of your normal routine. It's this sense of specialness, of making moments really like rich and full of joy. It's more about novelty and spontaneity than it is about perfect routines and living a perfect lifestyle. And I think that's what we too often forget about when it comes to romanticizing your life. Like, I feel like these perfect habits, these perfect like Pinterest that girl types, are more about self-improvement. Like building perfect habits and a perfect morning routine is great for self-improvement, for self-help, but it's not romance and it's not romanticizing your life. I love a good routine, I love productivity, but I don't think that's what makes your life romantic. That's what makes your life efficient, sure, but not romantic. So in this video, I really want to focus on how you can create that sense of spontaneous specialness that really is prevalent in main characters that we like look at and want that life, you know? I wanna get in touch with my inner romantic in this video and really focus on what it means to live a life of romance, I guess. Romance with yourself. To clarify, I have not hit a single ball into any of these pockets. Hey, you might have noticed we're in a bit of an interesting environment today. This is like a common area in my apartment complex. I thought it was fitting for this video since it's all about romanticization and putting yourself out of your comfort zone for the sake of living a better life. So here we are. Okay, so all of that being said, I think that leads me into my first point. I think what really helps to romanticize your life is to surprise yourself by doing something that you never normally would. So novelty, newness, something unexpected, something different from your regular routine. We become super blind to the things we are used to, and even if we are living this incredible daily life, we don't feel it or we don't realize it because we are so used to them. So while it's great to try to romanticize the day-to-day and find specialness in those regular activities, one of the like easiest and most guaranteed ways to feel like your life is more romantic is to switch up that routine and to do something that you normally wouldn't do. Do something out of character. It's a way to like integrate that sense of spontaneity and specialness into your life. And this doesn't have to be something really grand or crazy either. It can be something as simple as getting up a little earlier than usual, or doing something alone that you would usually do with another person. Or for me, like watching TV is romantic. I know it sounds a little crazy, but because it's something I don't normally do, whenever I turn on a movie or a show, it feels really special and really romantic to me. Now, all of that being said about specialness and newness and novelty, sometimes we do have to do the routine stuff. And the way that I like to incorporate this idea of novelty into the more routine tasks is to just change up a task that you do on autopilot in even a really small way. Something that I like to think of when I think about main characters and routine is like that early 2000s getting ready montage that we saw at the beginning of like Disney Channel original movies. I feel like you know what I'm talking about, right? And one way to make your routine a little more special is to sort of create that own feeling within your daily routine. Basically, what you're going for here is just to snap yourself out of this sort of mindless going through the motions that dominates so much of our day-to-day lives and really ground yourself in the present and make it a lot more enjoyable and romantic. And you can do this with any tiny little change that just snaps you out of autopilot. So this could be listening to different music while you're doing a task, or it could be standing up when you normally do something sitting down, lighting candles to make the environment a little bit more special, doing something in silence if normally you'd have a YouTube video playing in the background. All of these tiny things can really contribute to making your daily routine a little bit more special and taking you out of that autopilot mode. I just heard a dog barking. Do we all like the robe? I love it. I wanted to wear this to illustrate my point of changing up your day-to-day routine, and also to talk about my next thing, which is to treat every day like you have something to do, something to celebrate. Basically treating average days as if they were special. So for me, a small way that I do that is that I will pick out an outfit every single day. Even if I'm literally not going to leave the house, I will get dressed up just because it makes me feel like the day is more special. I feel put together. It's just a simple way to romanticize your life and like make yourself feel special and important, even if you don't really have anything that you have to go do. I also think it's important just to celebrate the smallest things, the tiniest wins. When you think about it, the number of days where you have something absolutely extraordinary and life-changing happen is going to be so minimal in compared to the number of average days you have. But if you choose to celebrate every little thing, every little win, every small success, you're going to create a lot more of those special days for yourself. All right, next big tip for embracing the main character energy is to slow down the tasks that give you energy and speed up the tasks that drain you. So we talked a little bit about how you can try to make the everyday chore type tasks romantic, but inherently some activities are just going to give you more joy than others. I don't think that's an issue. It's just something that we should be aware of. Like some things are just not going to be as meaningful. Like doing the dishes and doing your laundry is just not going to have as great of an impact on your day as like going to your favorite coffee shop, you know, it's not going to feel as good. So something that I have been trying to implement recently is allowing those tasks to be things that I go through efficiently, so then I can really slow down the tasks that give me a lot of fulfillment and take my time with them. So we tend to try and rush through self-care, whether that's skincare or our workouts or yoga. We feel this like guilt for taking time on ourselves, and we try and make it take up as little of our day as possible. But if you want to live a more romantic life, it helps so much to really bask in those self-love, self-care activities instead of trying to rush through them to like get back to work. If you feel like you're sleepwalking through your life and you don't really know what tasks fulfill you and what tasks drain you, it's so valuable to really get in touch with that and monitor that to learn what fills you up and what takes you down, and then start honoring that in your day-to-day life. What can you do to maximize the activities that really fill your cup? Because that's going to lead to a much more fulfilling and meaningful life, which ultimately is a much more romantic life, a life worth romanticizing, a life that makes you feel like the main character because you're doing the activities that genuinely bring you joy and you're allowing yourself to really relish in those activities, take your time with them, and make them special. Prioritizing your meaningful practices and what is meaningful work to you, whether that's a passion project or a side hustle or whatever it is so valuable because other people's priorities can really take over our lives if we let them. I once heard somebody say like other people's needs can take up lifetimes if we let them, and it really is true. If you're constantly focused on doing what other people want you to do or fulfilling tasks for other people's benefit, you're not going to live a very romantic life because you're not valuing yourself. Romanticizing your life and self-love are so hand in hand. You need to believe that you're worthy of having a romantic life in order to make it happen for yourself. So putting your needs first is so valuable, and prioritizing the things that really bring you fulfillment and make you feel like you're living a romantic, worthy life. I love filming in this room, but I do feel really exposed. Like someone can walk in here at any second and I'm hyper aware of that. Okay, final thing I want to say might be a bit of brutal honesty, and it's for myself as much as it is for you. Checking off boxes isn't romantic. I said what I said. Now I want to make a disclaimer that of course there is a time and place for efficient productivity, for just getting things done. But that's not what this is about. I'm talking more about for tasks that are for yourself, self-care type tasks. I used to be the type of person who put everything on a to-do list. This is a big reason why I don't do this anymore. Like I won't write eat lunch or get ready for the day on my to-do list. And I used to do that and I let it go because especially if what you're doing is for yourself, I think it's so valuable to let go of this idea of these are things I have to do and putting pressure on it, and instead think of it from a perspective of this is something I get to do or that I want to do for myself. And when you have a to-do list with 30 items on a day that's supposed to be about self-care and enjoying yourself, you're creating this unnecessary sense of stress, sort of this rigidness that you really don't need when it comes to tasks that are supposed to be making your life better and more romantic. There's nothing romantic about stressfully going through the motions to complete these self-care tasks just to check them off a to-do list. Romanticization, like we've been talking about this whole time, is all about slowness, specialness, taking your time with things, like really drawing things out, you know, creating these special moments and pockets of freedom and joy, and that just can't exist in a super rigid, stressful self-care routine. This is also why sometimes I don't love like planning a super long detailed to-do list the night before. I really like leaving some room for spontaneity and intuition, for waking up in the morning and being like, okay, what do I feel like doing today? How much energy do I have today? Leaving that time in the day for spontaneity, because spontaneity and romantic life, main character energy, so intertwined. Like being the main character is all about leaving room for spontaneity, leaving room for following your heart or your feelings and doing what feels right in the moment. So not planning out every second of your day, keeping your to-do lists to a few really essential, meaningful tasks, and then allowing for there to be space for you to figure it out throughout the day and to be really present with yourself is so much more valuable and so much more conducive for living a romantic life than planning out every second in a really rigid fashion. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's a little bit different than my normal content. I tried to be more creative with the shots and stuff, so let me know if you guys enjoyed that. Definitely like this video, put a lot of effort into it. If you are new here, definitely subscribe. I make lots of content about self-improvement and lifestyle. I love you guys. Hopefully I'll be better at pool at some point in my life. Bye.
Talk to me, let's start it